Hi everyone. In this tutorial I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Advanced ETL Processor Enterprise and Professional version. In this particular tutorial I'm going to be talking about transformation agent and loading data from Excel into Microsoft SQL Server. I have already created source connection which holds our Excel files, and I created SQL Server connection. Let's start from creating new transformation group. Let's call it import. Next step is to create new transformation. Let's call it Excel. Actually, people to SQL Server. So here's our screen, and let's set reader properties. So our data source type is Excel. Connection name is data. Select the file. Set some other properties. We can also use mask, and we can load data from tables and ranges. Let's click OK. Quite a large file. Reformatting the grid, auto format. And we set field names. Take them from the first line. We are going to be generating our own primary key. So what we want to do is to remove this index field. And we will use field selector transaction function. So just select all when I take the first line. Now let's set writer properties. So our data target type is SQL Server. Connection name is demo. And table name is people. Have some data already. So I think what we need to do, we need to truncate it. And let's have a look at the validator. Validator has some fantastic and useful properties. For example, we can check data quality, or check the data against the list, or check email formats or fonts, etc. Let's, for example, we check if last name is not equal bin. We'll load the data, otherwise we reject it. So we have this function, which we are going to use, this validation function. Bin. And when it is success, we want to reject the record. As that. They check it. So see, it is rejected. Click on the next one. Everything is fine. So now let's click OK. So the next step is to transform the data. Let's map our fields. We can also use automap function. It's a very great time saver. And we would like to populate index with sequential number, so we just use sequence. There are a number of transformation functions available, for example, like uppercase. It's a very basic example. Just convert job title to uppercase, because we only work with important people. Let's do that. Okay, so convert to uppercase. So now we are ready to load the data. All we need to do is to press green arrow. Let's run it. It's reading the data from Excel. We have number of rejected records because we added validation. And let's check rejected record files. Here are rejected records. And we also have some error messages written into the log. Another option, for example, we can load multiple files in one go. All we need to do is to specify the mask. Yeah, let's just load everything. And run it again. This is reading file number 1. Number 2. So we loaded processed in total 200,000 records, and the speed was 18,000 records per second. It is. And it took us 10 seconds. Okay, I hope you find this tutorial useful. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please go to our support forum, and we will do our best to help you. Thank you.